Hi everyone, quick tutorial here on renting your instrument if you would like it delivered directly to your home. So we're at tolbertmusic.net/rental and it's the same basic instructions for everybody with these couple caveats that I'm going to go over here in video form. So I'm going to let you read most of the website here. Um, for this is the area of the website that we're talking about for home rentals. So if you live in Southern Maryland, if you're a Portsmouth Catholic or St. Mary's Star of the Sea, down in the Hampton area of Virginia, then you want to use this particular option. This is going to be the easiest way for you to do it. So let's talk through how it works. You're going to want to make sure that you read all of this. You need to read about the extra things that you need. You need to read about the full list of things that are required for your instrument here. That's really important. Okay. Um, I'm going to go over these here in the video form as well, just to make sure that I'm being thorough. String instruments, you have to be sized correctly. You can't just get any size. If your size is too big, it's not going to work for you. If the size is too small, that's no good. So it's really important that you get sized correctly. I have included a link to a great YouTube tutorial. This is all of a minute and a half of time. It shows you how you're supposed to measure your child correctly. It shows you a chart for the length of the student's arm that you've just measured and therefore what size they need. And the same thing with the cello. Instead, you're measuring height. And so you'd be measuring in this way. Okay, it's really straightforward. You can follow this and get your student size correctly. If you don't, we will do it during the first class that we see that student and they say, "Oh, I signed up for cello," and they don't have a cello. Have you been sized? Have you ordered it? Yes. Okay, great. Then we'll wait for your order to come in. It's okay that you don't have it in the first class. And if not, then we size you and we make sure that we direct those parents. You've got to make this instrument order as soon as possible. Okay, so that's how you size your student. Once again, don't forget all the materials listed below. This is important. You want to keep the packaging that it was sent to you in, because the packaging, if you have to send that instrument back, you want to have it available. It's like sometimes awkward shaped boxes, sometimes large boxes. You want to go ahead and keep it so that you can ship it back appropriately, especially if you have a string instrument. If you've got a quarter size violin, before too long, your student will size up to a half size violin, to a three quarters, to a full. So you're going to be sending it back a couple times. Still very convenient. Still shipping is great, but you want to make sure that you keep the packaging. Otherwise, you might end up paying an awful lot of money for shipping that would be appropriate. Um, when it comes time that you've decided, all right, I'm doing this. I'm gonna get it shipped to my home. I'm not going into the store. It's very simple. This is how you do it. You click this link. It'll jump you over to this page here, so that you're ordering it from the Music and Arts website. You'll type in the name of your school. For example, Portsmouth Catholic Regional School. I did notice, let me put in another example here, Little Flower School. There's like a million Little Flower schools. Make sure that you've chosen the correct one, so don't run through this too awful fast. Take your time and make sure that you've got the correct one. Grade of the student, very straightforward. We want to pick earliest available option here. There's no need to be reserving it for later. This would be if you were doing it way in advance, if you were doing it months ago and you didn't want to be paying for the instrument through the summer. So earliest available option is what we want here. From this page, you're just going to pick the instrument that the student has selected for the year. If for some reason you don't see that instrument here, let us know. It's possible we need to have Music and Arts update the website really quickly. If it's not here, it's possible that somebody didn't read the instrument list correctly and that you're trying to sign your kid up for piano or guitar or something that we don't use in these programs because it's not pedagogically appropriate. We can't really teach it alongside of these and be effective for that student. So ask if it seems to be missing from here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pick violin, since the string instruments are the ones that are going to have this extra option here. Okay, remember, you're going to have follow the directions on that. I do recommend going towards the slightly smaller size. So for example, if your student's arm length is 22 inches pretty much exactly. I would recommend going ahead and getting the 1/2 size violin, because when it's too large, the student's fingers have to stretch out on the fingerboard and it's weird. It's just very awkward. Much better to have an instrument that's a little bit too small than an instrument that's a little bit too big. So, if your kid's in the middle of a massive growth spurt and their arms are going to get that much longer that quick, I guess, but we can't predict that kind of thing. So I err on the side of go for the smaller one. I'll just hypothetically do a half size here. There should only be one rental plan, the 2-month plan. They're giving you a huge discount. The first 2 months cost almost nothing. You definitely 100% want the damage waiver, because the instruments are expensive. If something happens to them, if anything happens to them, the insurance covers it. It's really, really great. It's really great. Like, the instrument can be snapped in half and, it was totally your fault, and they cover it. So you want to go ahead and purchase that. It's not expensive, and I can't recommend it highly enough. You should not opt out of that one. And it's pretty straightforward from there. Okay, now it goes into a checkout, and you might check out like you normally check out from anywhere. Okay, you can look over the I see they're going to have you do that later. I'm not going to walk through this entire process here, since I'm not going to rent myself a half size violin. But you put in your delivery address here, you put in your payment, they have you review the contract and submit the order. One other thing that you may want to be aware of, let me hit the back button here. There we go. So what we want is to make sure that we have the other items in our cart as well. So let me go to just musicarts.com. I was having a little trouble getting myself back to this web page. So maybe good that I was, maybe that will happen to you too. It's just musicarts.com. And then you could look through the list here of all the other things that you need: the instrument care kit, a music stand, some extra reeds if you're a clarinet or a saxophone, shoulder rests for violin and viola, strap stops for cellos. Okay. The extra materials that you need are listed down here, and you want to make sure that those are in your cart as well, so that you can have them just come right along with the instrument when it is ordered. Okay. And if you have any difficulty finding, if the website is a little difficult to navigate, just remember that you can always come back to ours, and this will link you off to the correct page to process your rental. So you could put a few things in the cart here from musicarts.com, and then when you click this, it should just combine the carts. You're going to be logged into you might use your Google to log in or something like that. So okay, that's basically it. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me directly or to your director, and we will be happy to assist you with making sure that you get your instrument in a timely fashion. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing you in the program.